Hey guys, it's Turbo. Sorry I haven't made a video in such a long time. I've been pretty busy in school and, freshman year, a lot of stuff to do. Anyway, this is my 6 month thoughts of the last 6 months, obviously. And I'm just going to do the newest quest. I haven't been on in a while, so sure. Alright, yeah, it's not low enough. But, and the epic armor is one of my favorite armors. I like this idea of how instead of as the more you lose health, the stronger your armor gets. It's something that's gone back to the days of Berserker, and I believe I don't know what the other thing's called. There's like another weapon that does that, but I really like that idea. I think it's an interesting addition to the game. I'd like to see more armors like that. Actually, it'd be interesting. I think another thing that I'm starting to see, or I think I'm starting to see anyway, is instead of having armors that are solely based off of like they're split up into offensive, defensive, and stuff like that. They're making the armors a bit more. They had this wind test armor. I'm sure some of you remember. It was a wind armor, and but its real ability was that it would either I believe it would either go up in it would Oh yeah, that's right. It would make the opponent do more damage, and you do more damage in the offensive version, whereas the opponent would do less damage, and you would also do less damage. I think that's what it was in the defensive version, and I think I like that. I like that a lot. I think it was pretty neat. And instead of just having this whole thing where you have offensive, defensive split off by like a few percentages and stuff, it's more interesting to have this kind of a different feel. All right, so gift boxes. I'm going to talk about that first since I never actually did. I made a video about it, but I really liked the armor. I don't have it in my no, I don't have it in my inventory, but the armor is one of my favorite things about the whole set. I love that how you can change from fire to water, and I think there need to be more armors like this. I know we had My Way armor a few years ago, and I mean we've had quite a bit of things like that. My Way armor. Then there was back in the day. There was a gift. There was another gift box that was I think it was like charcoal armor. That when you killed something, it would or when something did enough fire damage to you, I think, or energy or light damage, it would change the armor stats around. That kind of thing was cool, but this is nicer where you can change from fire armor to water armor, and they're still pretty strong both. So yeah, I like that a lot. The weapon I wasn't too impressed with, honestly. I thought it was a bit overrated by other people. It was a strong weapon, yeah, but it didn't have anything. I didn't think there was anything too special about it. Yeah, and yes, I used it completely, like a lot. Um, let's see what else. The shield. I believe it was the shield. Yeah, it was the shield. I think that no, not the shield. It was the misc, the miscellaneous item, the item that allowed you to skip a turn. In fact, I'll use it here. Oh, maybe not. This thing. This thing I really like. I think it's pretty neat. It's got what is it? It does that thing where it lets you skip one, do an extra turn, and I think that's really cool. For at least for a miscellaneous item, it's pretty neat. Uh, all right. Next up, the I'm gonna talk about the Adventure Quest 10-year anniversary. The 10-year anniversary was honestly one of my favorite quests in probably all of Adventure Quest. It was just a lot of fun, and there was just so many. Sorry, but I just realized what this bishop did. I think I know what it does now. Anyway, sorry, but the 10-year anniversary quest was easily one of my favorite quests. It was obviously had put a lot of work into it. I liked how they had this, they had this big guy, big dragon guy that was made up of these smaller quests, and then after you beat each one, you beat the whole thing, and then afterwards you could fight each of the heads afterwards. I like that idea for a quest, and I like to see that more. In fact, I believe there is another quest like that, not the Sinister Seven, but where you can fight, but you do the whole quest, each part of it, and then you can fight all the bosses in a row. And I think that's a cool idea. And I really like the quest because it was, not only was it fun, I mean, some quests can be boring, this was a fun quest. It was also kind of funny and comical. It felt lighthearted, which is what we really needed for a 10-year anniversary. So yeah, easily one of my favorite quests in all of AQ. The Karnax head actually gave me a lot of trouble. I remember, I think I fought it like a dozen times. Not a dozen, maybe like half a dozen times before I beat it. It was just gave me a lot of trouble. And you probably, if you've seen my video, you probably have seen how much time I wasted just fighting that one monster. Man, I'm so happy I figured that out. I didn't even realize the MP thing. Oh yeah, speaking of which, the SB bar. I think the SB bar and the skill, the new skills button here are two of the newer features, like in the like general features. I really like those as well. I think the SB bar, I was always confused a lot of times when monsters would attack. They'd have like this. You didn't know when they were going to attack and when they weren't going to attack, like their special thing. Now it's made a lot more clear. I actually didn't know ever that behind a monster there was a hidden SP bar. I kind of figured there was, but I wasn't sure about it, and this kind of clears that up, and I think that's good that we get to finally see that, and we can, instead of having to predict the attacks. Although it would make for some cooler challenges if you're fighting something that's crazy and you can't figure out when it's going to do its special or not, and then you're in ice armor and it does fire. Yeah, that kind of stuff would be cool. But I generally like the SB bar. As for the skills button, I don't think I ever talked about that, but that's also. Hmm. Oh yeah, another thing I'd like to talk about is the introduction of rares coming back. Like for instance, actually I'll bring one out right now. Deadeye Cupid. Um, it seems like not with just this, but they're bringing back rares and they're changing how they work. And I'll give you a couple examples, or actually a couple examples are right now here. The Deadeye Cupid was, I'm sure a lot of you know what that thing used to do. It would basically have this. It would have two attacks, and most of the time it did one attack, which was that it just outright. 1 second. Figure out what I'm doing first. And it would just outright either paralyze it, or it would do it either did an attack or it paralyzed the enemy, and the paralysis attack could never miss. It would just either get it or not. It wasn't like an actual hit, but they changed that, and now hold on a second. But they've changed that. They've made it so that it has a very low chance of actually doing that attack, and an even lower chance of getting the paralysis. It's not even paralysis anymore. I think it's controlling the enemy, which is actually a better. That's actually better than paralysis, but the chance of getting it is really slim. It's not as good as it used to be. I do keep it around though because it's a win pet, so I use it for like win. But I know there's better bets than that. The main problem I have with Deadeye Cupid is that actually it's not a problem. It was overpowered in the beginning, and I can understand why they changed it. But they made it so that I feel anyway that it's not worth it just for that attack or that paralysis ability. The main point of it back in the day was just to paralyze. And this sort of thing they're doing now with rares a lot. They're bringing back the rares and then they're changing them. Another example is Frankenglaive, although this is actually a better example. Not a better example. They actually made this better when they brought it back. The Frankenglaive was a weapon that basically became stronger every time it had a special. The weapon would become slightly stronger. It wouldn't tell you how much stronger. I think it did tell you how much stronger it would become, but not really tell you. It just say like a number, I believe. But now they've changed this. They've made it so they've changed it so that you don't they've changed it so you understand how much it's doing, and it's doing it a lot more consistently. And before it didn't really do much damage, and it was like, okay, it's slightly better every time you do it. Okay. And every time you do a special, it would become better. But now they've made it so that one time it does a special, in the next 5 rounds it won't do a special again, but it gets stronger as the 5 rounds goes on. This I like. I think this is better than what they did with this is an example where they're upgrading a weapon. They're making it better. Anyway, after that rant about rares, I don't think I'm gonna even survive this battle. It's kind of sad. 1 second. Yeah, I might die here, but oh well. Oh wait, no, I can't die. I have a Moglord Warboar, remember? So yeah, that's the next thing I'm gonna get to. The Moglord Warboar is the pet from the year, and I think this is super overpowered, honestly, because not only is it a strong water pet, but it gives me HP. In fact, a good amount of HP per turn. I wonder what the people with high endurance have. I'm not sure if endurance changes how much you get from it. It's actually healing kind of low right now, but normally it heals pretty high. This thing has honestly changed the way I play. If I'm ever in a tight spot, instead of healing a lot of times, what I'll do is I'll just bring this guy out and attack. And I can still attack, I can still battle, but I'm getting healed every turn, usually about as much as the damage I take. And it's basically changed the entire way I've played in the last few months. No longer do I have to play conservatively. I used to play conservatively, thinking, okay, I don't want to waste too much. I got 0 endurance. I can't afford to waste too much. But now I'm not doing that at all. I'm just saying, okay, screw it. I'm going to blast off. Yeah, I said blast off. Yeah, But a music video in general. I don't know if any of you guys remember, but I started making a music video 2 years ago with this a song called Undead by it was like an Adventure Quest music video. Oh it had Adventure Quest stuff in it and everything, and it was cool. But I don't think I don't know if I might make it. I'm not gonna continue with that thing. It's just too old, and I don't have the time to go back there. But yeah, if you think that's a good idea, then just tell me. Then I'll make a music video. And remember, if you have anything you'd like to. See you. Bye.